We are aware of the magnitude of this game. We know that this is a game that we have to win. Our preparation going into the game has been the same as in the two previous games, and all we can do is prepare the team to play a very tough match, as all of these games are. And to make sure that we put in a level of performance that allows us to win the game. I think we are all aware that this is a situation that we would rather not be in. You know, we would rather have more points, and we feel certainly from the performance and the goals that we conceded that we should be in a better position, but we are not. So the conversation is not difficult. This is a game we have to win. The level of performance, I think the players and I think most people appreciate that the level of performance in our game against Egypt was better than our level of performance in our first game with Cape Verde. So the players know what it will take to get a result. There are no easy games in this tournament, and we will come up against a Mozambique team also knowing that they have to win the game. So we have to be physically and mentally prepared for this. No, I think of the pressure that you go into every tournament with. I don't think it's a reflection of the past. There isn't anybody that's associated with the Black Stars that's not conscious of the trophies that we have won and the dominance in the past that the team has shown in this competition. But this is a different year. There is always pressure. There's always pressure if you are a Black Stars head coach. There is always pressure if you are a Black Stars player. This comes with the game. But, you know, we have a group of players, as does every team, that go into pressurised games at club level, albeit to win the league or to make sure they stay in the league or to stay in a cup competition, to stay in a European competition. So levels of pressure, as head coach you're used to, and also the players, and it comes with the job, and you have to accept it, and you have to welcome it. I think I understand the question. I think there is always a pressure going into this tournament because we are the Black Stars. I accept the first part of your question that potentially going into this tournament, the expectations maybe were not as high as in previous years. So this I accept. But for all of these questions and for any question that anybody asks about pressure now, we have to use that as motivation, and the players have to use that as motivation. And I would like to think that after the first performance, we always know there will be criticism if we don't get the results that we want, and I would like to think that the team used that in a positive way. And if the expectations are perhaps lower this tournament than they have been in previous tournaments, then exactly the same. We have to use this as motivation to make sure that we succeed in what our ambitions are. I think as regards what happened 2 years ago, some players here were, of course, involved in that, and some not. But what players get used to over a period of time, and remember, this is a huge world tournament. But players get used to in their careers bouncing back from defeats try to improve their game, and trying to put what was in the past in the past. Our concentrations have all been about looking forward, and I think if you are concentrating too much on what happened in the past in a particular game, then you can let it affect your preparation, your thinking going into this game. We just have to think of the last game and the improvement in the last game and reaching the same levels or the correct levels to win a football match. And we appreciate the past very much, but we can only think about what's in front of us now, and that will be a tough game tomorrow. So the update on Majid is that we are still assessing him, but the signs are good. He will train today, and the signs are good that he will be fine. This was a situation in the game where we had to bring him off. He'd received a kick in training before that, and a consequence of that meant as he started to get into the latter part of the game, he was feeling it. As regards Richmond Lamptey, he's very much part of the squad, and the fact he's part of the squad, then everybody has an opportunity. You know, we constantly talk about how difficult it is to pick a team, to pick a bench, and to leave players out. And this is the responsibility of myself and the technical staff. But Richmond has been a big part of our squad, as has everybody else. And that means that they all put themselves always into consideration to be involved. Yes, I've spoken to him. And I'll go back to what I originally said after the game. Is that it is an emotional game, and as a head coach, you have to make these decisions, and you hope you make more right decisions than not. But this is a decision that we made at the time. This was never a reflection on the individual, because apart from being a very good footballer, he's also a very good individual and a very good team player. So yes, I have spoken to him, and obviously conversations are always private between head coach and player. But yes, this was a necessity for me to be able to speak to him as soon as I could. And I can tell you, it wasn't that evening, because still there are a lot of emotions of the game. But the first opportunity that I had the next day to speak to him, I have. I think we have a group of players that I think are very aware of the past and very aware of the moments in AFCON where we did very well, and in the moments in AFCON where we didn't do very well. So I think they are all aware of that. But that's not the motivation. The motivation is that we know the position we are in now. There is not one person associated with the Black Stars, and if I'm speaking about the players, there is none of the 27 players that we have here that want to be eliminated from this tournament. We are very conscious as a group what that means to the team, what that means to the football association, the environment, and the country. We are very, very aware. So what happened in the past can be a reference point, but by far the most important point is that we have a very tough game tomorrow that will see us, if we get the right result, the winning result, will see us making sure that we qualify from the group. And that is the biggest incentive that the players need to know, and the biggest incentive that they are all aware of. But Mohamed is a player that's playing in very good form at the moment. Of course, he scored the 2 goals, but we also have to take into account that we were also playing against a very, very good team, a team that would be one of the favourites to lift this trophy. I think a team that in the last time they won it, I think conceded 2 goals in the whole of this tournament. So it's about scoring goals wherever that comes from. And what we want is to be able to create more opportunities for the team as a whole. The goal before we scored, of course, was from a set play, from a corner, which is an area that we hadn't scored too many goals from. So it doesn't really matter where the goals come from. We prepare ourselves the exact same way going into this game as the last game and the last game. And if it means that one individual scores, if it means that we score from a free kick or a penalty, the most important thing is that we get the win that we need to give us an opportunity to still be in the competition. But well, firstly, in any relation to social media, I am not on social media myself, so I would have to say most things I don't see. But I have a head of media that obviously informs you of anything that is put on there or we see. In reference to the particular player is the same reference to all the players. I would be very surprised if there is any player in the squad that is happy that he's not playing. You want a competitive squad, you want players to be pushing, and you want players to be disappointed that they're not in the squad. This is, for me, a normal emotion and a normal reaction from players. As regards the individual himself, Daniel is an extremely good professional that trains well, always wants to make himself available, and a player of great experience. But he's also a valuable member of this squad and has been in this squad for a long time. As head coach, you use the opportunity to speak to as many players as you can. It's not always easy. We have 27 players, and our workload between the games is quite a heavy workload as regards the analysis work that we do, the video work that we do. But we try and spend as much time as we can speaking to all the individual that we can. And yes, Daniel is one that I've spoken to regarding him not starting in the 2 games. But Daniel is one of 27 players, and we have to try and communicate with the players the best way that we can. But as you can imagine, we can never speak with all of the players all of the time, but we try the best that we can. As regards working on set plays, if I can tell you of my experiences, as regards working on set plays, we would work on set plays before every camp, and to the qualities that you are after in a set play is one is good delivery, one is good timing and aggression in the box, and the other one is sometimes luck, where the ball can bounce in the correct place and somebody's there. So on any period that we haven't scored, or any game we haven't scored, it is never down to the fact that we have not worked at them. But I can tell you my experience as a coach. I've had periods where you've worked on set plays week after week and not scored, and then maybe for a 2-week period or so you've not worked so much, and then in that period it's the time when you score. It's making sure that you are covering all bases, defensively and offensively. And when them opportunities arrive, where the ball falls in the right place, where the run is right, that you are there. And I say it is about quality and aggression. But one thing I can assure you is that before every camp, before this tournament, and during this tournament, we will continue to work on our set plays.